Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Ganana Antva Ganapati Gambavamahe, Kavin Kavinam Upavashravastramam, Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspada, Anushranhoti Bisida Sadhanam. Om Mahaganadipataye Namaha, Om Keshwaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhvaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vishnuve Namaha, Madhusudhanaya Namaha, Trivikramaya Namaha, Bhavnaya Namaha, Sridharaya Namaha, Rishikeshaya Namaha, Padmanabhaya Namaha, Damodaraya Namaha, Sankarshnaya Namaha, Vasudevaya Namaha, Pradyumnaya Namaha, Niruddhaya Namaha, Purushottamaya Namaha, Dokshaya Namaha, Narasimhaya Namaha, Achyutaya Namaha, Janardhanaya Namaha, Upendraya Namaha, Hare Namaha, Sri Krishnaya Namaha, Sri Krishnaya Namaha, Sri Krishnaya Namaha. Shambhave Namaha, Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaye, Trambakaya, Tripurantakaya, Trikagnikahalaya, Khalagnirudraya, Neelakanthaya, Mrityunjayaya, Sarveshwaraya, Sadashivaya, Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. Hari Om. Om Haim Hrim Klim Chamandaya Viche, 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 Om Haim Hrim Klim Chamandaya Viche. Dear friends, we came to the chapter 21st chapter of Sri Mad Devi Bhagavatham. In this chapter, um, killing of the sons of Devaki, etc. will be discussed. Vyasa Maharishi is telling the Sri Devi Bhagavatham to Janamejaya king in the Hastinapura palace. Thus, in the due course of Devaki, the goddess of incarnate being united according to the rules of with Vasudeva became pregnant. When full 10 months were over, a good-looking and beautiful child male was first born to Devaki. Then the good-natured Vasudeva remembered his promise and also what is ordained by heaven, and he spoke to Devaki, the part incarnate of Aditi. In previous life, Devaki was Aditi, and Vasudeva was a Kashyapa Maharshi. O fair-looking, he is addressing his wife Devaki. Vasudeva is telling, you know that I saved your life at your marriage by swearing on oath to deliver all your fresh-born children to Kamsa, your brother. Now has come the time to hand over your child to Kamsa. So, O good-haired woman, now I will hand this son to Kamsa. No, Kamsa is very cruel and wicked. I cannot say what step he is going to take. Whatever is urged on by fate to kill your child, O sweet one, we have no hands in the matter. The effects of karma are exceedingly puzzling. Ordinary persons cannot know them. All persons are subject to time and the destroyer, and they enjoy the merits of the demerits and demerits or demerits of their past deeds. The effects of past karma are fashioned by the Creator. Knowing this, allow me to take away your child. So Vasudeva is asking his wife Devaki, allow me to take this child to Kamsa. Now Devaki said, O Lord, certainly men have to suffer fully the effects of their past karmas. But can that not be upset by residing in holy places, practicing penances and asceticism, or by making generous gifts? The high-minded Maharishis have fixed rules and penances for destroying the sins of past deeds. 12 years or to observe penances can purify one from sins. Example, Brahmahatya dosha, stealing gold, drinking, or stealing the wife of one's preceptor, and many others. O sinless one, will not anyone be freed from their sinful effects if they observe practices and penances as are ordained by Manu or other munis? If we don't accept penances to be sufficiently purificatory, do you mean to say then that what the Maharishis here, Yajna and other promulgators of religious doctrines have uttered, they did so as an act of dire falsehood or valiantly. O my husband, Devaki is telling, what is the womb of fate will surely come to pass. If this be taken as granted, then the whole Ayurveda, medicinal books, and mantravadas, the science and recitation of mantras or sacred formulate turn out utterly fruitless and false, useless. If all the actions are under the control of fate, then no effect can come out of any effort. If all the actions are under the control of the fate, then no effect can come out of any effort. So all efforts are reduced to no effect. If what is ordained by heaven is to come to pass, then what is the use of taking recourse to any action and agnistoma sacrifices, etc., that are declared to lead to heavens? Judge if heaven or fate you consider all in all, then the whole Vedas, the revelations from God's mouth, turn out may not be true. If the Vedas be false, then there is no reason why the whole Dharma will not be destroyed. So here the fate is denounced. Now, when it is seen that effects do come out whenever any exertion is made, then you ought to think out carefully and find out some means to avert danger. Therefore, do your judge and find out a good way of preserving the life of this baby. The learned people say that to tell a lie is not a sin if you can thereby save a life and have an honest motive for the welfare of all. Here is the diplomatic statement. Then the Vasudeva, Devaki's husband, says, O blessed one, I now tell you what is truth and the matters connected with the truth. The effort, application, and manifestation of energy are certainly the duties of man. So, what is the duties of the man? Effort, application, and manifestation of energy are certainly the duties of man, but their effects are all under the great destiny of fate. The Pandits, knowing the ancient lore, say that there are three kinds of karma mentioned in the Puranas and in Agama Shastra. First, the Sanchita karma. These deeds are done in the past births. The Prarabdha karma, the karma already done, and the Vartamana karma, karma is on hand. Karma, auspicious and inauspicious, done in many previous lives and preserved in seed forms, remains always inherent in a human soul. Urged on by this karma, the jivas, quitting their previous bodies, enjoy heaven or hell as effects of these, their own acts. The karma, auspicious and inauspicious, done in many previous lives and preserved in seed forms, remains always inherent in a human soul. Urged on by this karma, the jivas, quitting their previous bodies, enjoy heaven or hell as effects of these their own acts. According to their good and bad works, the jivas acquire the higher happy body and enjoy various pleasures in the heavens. Or they take up very painful vicious bodies and suffer various pains in the hell. At the expiry of the above period in the heaven or the hell, when there comes the time of his assuming another body, the jiva becomes conscious of the subtle body, Lingadeha, and takes his birth again. When the Lingadeha comes into existence, the part of the karma done in various previous births that are ripe and ready to yield their fruits gets attached to Jiva by the God, destiny. When the Linga Deha comes into existence, the part of the karma done in previous births that are ripe and ready to yield their fruits gets attached to Jiva by God, by his own destiny. Therefore, the collective effects of karma done in previous births always exist in a Jiva's body. O fair-eyed one, the effects of prarabdha karma, ripened and ready to yield their fruits, must have to be experienced by Jiva, whether happy or unhappy. O beautiful young woman, penances performed according to the rules destroy the effect of karmas that are in hand and are weak, that is not yet accumulated strongly as to remain in the seed forms. The prarabdha karma, those acts out of all the previous acts done in previous births and are fully mature and ready to yield their fruits, cannot be averted. Their effects must have to be experienced and then they can die away. They cannot be expiated by penances or any other remedial measures. Therefore, you must hand over unconditionally your newborn baby onto the hands of the Kamsa. O Goddess, I have never done any blamable action, nor have I told any lie. Therefore, do you fulfill your truth and how hand over your baby? O Devaki, Dharma is the only thing prominent and permanent and real in this fleeting world. Even the births and deaths of high-souled persons are subject to great destiny. Therefore, the jiva ought not to be sorry when there is no help for it. O dear one, what shall I say to you? Know this much, that his life is spent in vain, who lost is the truth. O beautiful one, whose this life is destroyed, what can he expect in the life to come? Therefore, O Goddess, give me your baby, and I will hand it over to Kamsa. If we can observe this truth, we will meet with ample rewards afterwards. There is no doubt about it. Where there are pains and pleasures for the jivas, it is highly incumbent on us to do good and meritorious deeds. If we can act according to the truth, we will certainly get good fruits. Vyasa Maharishi says, thus addressed by Vasudeva, the husband of Devaki, who was very much grieved and intelligent, gave her over the newly born baby, her whole body trembling, to the hands of Vasudeva. The virtuous Vasudeva took that baby and went out to the Kamsa's palace. On the way, the people seeing him thus were very much astonished and began to praise him. The people said, O people, see how Vasudeva is sensible to keep his words of promise. He is taking his son to hand over to Kamsa. This beautiful and high-souled man, free from malice, is going to give up his son to the hands of Kamsa, who is the death personified. See his wonderful patience. This man's life is really high, noble, and true. Vyasa Maharishi said to the king Janamejaya, O King Vasudeva, thus prized, reached at last the Kamsa's palace and handed over his newly born son to Kamsa. The king Kamsa too was very much astonished to see this wonderful patience of Vasudeva. Then he held aloft the child and laughed and said, O son of Surasena, you have been blessed today by giving me your son just now. But the voice from heaven said that your eighth son will be the cause of the death. This is your first son, is not my cause of death. Therefore, I will not kill this baby. You can take your baby back to your home. High-minded one, let me have your eighth son brought here. When he will be born, I hope you will positively do it. The cruel and wicked Kamsa returned the child and said, let this child go back safely to your home. When the king Kamsa said that, Vasudeva, the son of Surasena, gladly took his child back and came home. Then the king Kamsa told his ministers that the heavenly voice told that the eighth son would be the cause of his death. And so there was no necessity to kill this child. There was no need to incur sin by killing the first child. The ministers, hearing the king Kamsa's those words, the ministers of the Kamsa's palace, hearing the king Kamsa's words, began to praise him very much and exclaimed repeatedly, well done, well done. They are appreciating Kamsa because he didn't kill the child. They went away to their respective homes when ordered to do so by Kamsa. Now Narada, the best of munis, arrived to Kamsa's palace. The king Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, stood up at once and offered him water to wash his mouth and with green grass, and rice, worshipped him devotedly and inquired of his welfare. He then asked the Muni about the cause of his untimely arrival of Narada. The Maharshi Narada then smilingly and with sweet words repeatedly uttered Kamsa, Kamsa, and then said, O blessed one, I went to perchance the Sumeru mountain. There Brahma and other gods formed an assembly and were thus thinking out plans that Vishnu, the supreme god, would take his birth in the womb of Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva and Kamsa. Now I will ask you, you very expert as a politician, then why have you not killed the son of Vasudeva? Kamsa said, I will kill the eighth son according to the heavenly voice. Narada said, O king, now I understood that you do not understand anything of politics leading to auspicious or inauspicious results, especially when they are quite ignorant of the Maya of Devas. Then what shall I say to you? The truth is this: warriors looking after their own welfare never overlook the weakest of their heroes, weakest of their men. What have you understood? When the heavenly voice uttered the eighth son, it means the children counted from the first and then finished up to eighth. It may mean first, second, third, or up to eighth. Never forego your enemies. Then why have you desisted in killing your enemy? But when you got the enemy in your possession, nothing is shown of you in this act save dire foolishness and ignorance. Thus saying, the Maharishi Narada vanished quickly. Kamsa, of little understanding, brought back the son of Vasudeva and killed him by dashing him against the stone and was relieved. This human body is microcosm. The universe is the macrocosm. God resides in the center and controls the two. In this human body also live Devas and Dhanavas. The left half of the body, the Ida side, is the seat of Devas. The right half of the body is Pingala side, is the seat of Dhanavas. In this body, war is always going between Devas and Dhanavas. Sometimes Devas get victory, sometimes Dhanavas get pain. God is in the center, the heart, and controls the two. Here ends the 21st chapter of Sri Mad Devi Bhagavatham of Devi Maha Puranam of 18,000 verses, composed by Veda Vyasa Maharshi on killing of the sons of Devaki. Now, 22nd chapter covers on the part incarnations of the several devas. Janamejaya asked Vyasa Maharshi, "O grandfather, what bad act did that child commit, that no sooner he was born than he was killed by Kamsa? Especially Maharshi Narada is the best amongst the Munis and foremost amongst the Brahmanas, Brahmavidyas, knowers of Brahma, always doing virtuous acts and learned. Why did he become the agent in this very sinful act?" Maharshi Narada is the best amongst the Munis and foremost amongst the Brahma Vidyas, knowers of Brahma, always doing virtuous acts and learned. And why did he become the agent in this very sinful act? Pandits declare that the doers and stimulators of any evil deed both are equally responsible. Then how is it that Narada, being the best of Munis, instigated the wicked Kamsa to do this evil act? I am very much in doubt on this point. Kindly describe in detail the act that child did, as the result of which we had to meet with this fate of being killed. Vyasa Maharshi said to the Janamejaya, the Devarshi Narada is always fond of seeing the quarrels brought about among the parties. He always likes thus to see the fun, here especially to serve the gods' purpose. He went to Kamsa and incited him to such an act. Really, he never intends to speak a lie. Really, he never intends to speak a lie. He is always truth speaking, pure hearted, and always ready to serve the gods. Thus, the six sons were born to Devaki, and Kamsa too killed those six sons, one after the other, consecutively as they born. These six sons named Sadgarbha were killed. Sadgarbha were killed just after their birth, owing to their having been previously cursed. O king, hear why they were cursed before. In the reign of Swayambhu Manu were born to Urna, the wife of Maharshi Marichi, the six powerful sons, all of a virtuous disposition. Once on an occasion, the Prajapati Brahma, on seeing his daughter, became passionate and was ready to hold. Once on an occasion, the Prajapati Brahma, on seeing his daughter, became passionate and was ready to hold a love affair. At this, those six sons laughed at him. Brahma cursed them, saying, "You all go quickly and take your birth in the homes of Asuras." Therefore, those six sons became the sons of Kalanemi in their first birth, and at the second birth they became the sons of Hiranyakashipu. The second time they had the fear of curse in their minds and therefore born endowed with knowledge. In this birth they became peaceful, and collecting all their energies, they began to practice austerities. Brahma was pleased at this end and asked Sadgarbha to take boons. Brahma said, "O my sons, I was very angry to you before and cursed you. Now I am very much pleased with your austerity work. Ask boons from me what you desire." Vyasa Maharshi said, hearing Brahma's words, they were very glad and becoming very anxious to secure their objects of desire, said, "O our grandsire, today thou art pleased unto us. Now favor us with our desired boons, that we may be invulnerable to all the devas, human beings, the big serpents, and the Gandharvas, and the Lord of Siddhas, semi-divine beings supposed to be great purity and holiness, and said to be particularly characterized by 8 supernatural faculties called siddhas. The one who attained siddhas attained siddhi. They have to attain siddhis to become siddha. Vyasa Maharishi said, Brahma told them, what you asked, you would certainly get. O blessed ones, better go now. My words will be found to be literally true. No doubt in this. Granting them boons, Brahma went away. They then became very glad. O best of crows, Hiranyakashipu began to think, my sons now have pleased the grandsire Brahma and are now regardless of me, and got very angry and said, you all are become very proud on account of receiving boons, and since you have ceased your good feelings towards me, I also henceforth cut off my connection with you. Now better go to Patala. You will be known in the Patala world as Sadgarbha. At present, you would be always involved in deep sleep and remain in Patala for many years. And when you will be born one after another in the womb of Devaki, then your father Kalanemi of previous birth will be born as Kamsa, and he would be cruel-hearted and surely kill you all no sooner you are born. Vyasa Maharishi said, thus because they were cursed, they took their births repeatedly, and Kamsa too, being urged upon by the same curse, killed those sons of Devaki, the Sadgarbha, no sooner they were born. In the seventh womb of Devaki, Ananta Sheshanaga made his appearance. The fetus in the womb was attracted by Yogamaya and placed in the womb of Rohini. But there was the rumor that there was a miscarriage in the womb of Devaki in the fifth month, and this became known to the public. Kamsa came to know that there had been a miscarriage. That wicked soul became exceedingly glad to hear this gladdening news. And at about this time, the Bhagavan, the protector of the devotee, appeared in the eighth pregnancy of Devaki to serve the purpose of gods and relieve the load of earth. The king said, O best of Manis, you have described the part incarnations of Kashyapa Maharishi as Vasudeva and Bhagavan Hari to relieve the burden of goddess earth as prayed by her, and of Ananta Deva, but you have not described the part incarnation of the other Devas. How the other Devas incarnated as their part of this earth. Kindly describe them now. Vyasa Maharishi said, the part incarnation of Sura and Asuras on this earth, and their names I am now saying to you in brief here. Vasudeva was the part incarnation of Kashyapa, Devaki was the part of Aditi, Baladeva of Ananta, Vasudeva is Sri Krishna, Sriman Narayana, the son of Dharma, existing even at that time in his physical body, Arjuna of Nara, and the younger brother of Narayana. Yudhishthira was part incarnate of Dharma, Bhimasena of Vayu, the powerful twins of Madri, Nakula, Sahadeva and Ashwini Kumars. Valiant hero Karna, born of Kunti, was a part incarnate of the sun, and the high-minded Vidura, the knower of the supreme essence, the incarnate of Yama, the king Dharmaraja Drona, the Acharya of the Kurus, and the Pandavas, was the part incarnate of Bruhaspathi, and his son Ashwatthama as part incarnate of Rudradeva. Dharmaraja, the essence of incarnate Yama, the king of Dharmaraja, Drona, the Acharya of the Kurus, and the Pandavas was the part incarnate of Bruhaspathi, and his son, as Ashwatthama, was a part incarnate of Rudradeva. Shantanu was the part incarnate of ocean of his wife, the river Ganges in human form. It is stated in Puranas that the king Devaka was a part incarnate of the Lord of Dhanavas. The grandfather of Kuru dynasty, the foremost of the heroes, Bhishmadeva, was the incarnate of Vasu. Virata, the lord of Matsya kingdom, was the part incarnate of Marutas. Dhritarashtra of the Daitya Hamsa, the son of Arishtanemi, Kripa and Kritika, Kritavarma of Morus, Marutas, Duryodhana of Kali, and Shukuni of Dwapara. Suvarchakyu Somaparu of sons of moon. Drishtadyumna was a part of incarnate of fire, and Shikandi of Rakshasa. Pradyumna was a part of incarnate of Sanat Kumara. The king Drupada was part incarnate of Varuna. Draupadi of Lakshmi, Draupadi's 5 sons, Vishwadevas. Kunti was incarnate of Siddhai, Madri, and Dhriti, Gandhari of Mati. The wives of Sri Krishna were the heavenly public women, thus all the devas came as their part incarnations urged on by Indra. Amongst the asuras, Shishupala was the incarnate of Hiranyakashipu. Jarasandha of Viprachiti, Salva of Prahlada, Kamsa of Kalanemi, and Keshi of Ayasira. The asuras named Arishta of the form of cow that was killed by Krishna was the son of Bali. The asura named Arishta of the form of a cow that was killed by Krishna was the son of Bali. Drishtaketu was a part incarnate of Anuradha, Bhagadatta of Maskala, Pralamba of Lamba, Denuka of Khara. Chanura and Mustuka are the 2 athletes were part incarnates of Varaha and Kishora, the 2 dreadful Daityas. The Kubalaya, the elephant of Kamsa, is Kubalaya, was a part incarnate of Arishta, the son of Diti. Vaki was the daughter of Bali Chakravarti. Vaka was her younger brother. The powerful son of Drona, Ashwatthama, though known as the part incarnate of Rudra, was really born of the 4 parts of Yama, Rudra, cupidity, and anger. The Daityas and Rakshasas that were born to relieve the heavy burden of the earth were all incarnates of Asuras. O king, I have thus narrated to you in order to incarnate of the Suras and Asuras as they are stated duly in the Puranas. When Brahma and the other Devas went to Vishnu and prayed to him, then Hari gave to Brahma 1 hair of a black color and 1 hair of a white color. The Bhagavan Sri Krishna was born of that black hair, and Sankarshana Baladeva was born of the white hair. They were both incarnations of Vishnu. Note here, the black is the younger and stronger, and they also represent the polarities. The jivas are points of those hairs. He who hears the story of these part incarnation becomes freed of all sins and passes away his time merrily surrounded by his circle of friends. There is no doubt in this. Thus ends the 22nd chapter in the 4th book of Sri Mad Devi Bhagavatham, the Mahapuranam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa on the part incarnation of several devas. So we'll continue on the 23rd chapter in the next step. ॐ शम्भवे नमः विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ नमोऽस्तु अनन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षरपादसहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय श्रुतये सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः। सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः। आकाशात् पतितं यदा गत्सागरं सर्वदेव नमस्कारः। श्रीकेशं परिगत्यो नमः। सर्ववेदेशत्खण्डं सर्वतीर्थेषु यत्फलं तत्फलं प्रणवाप्यवासनात् वासुदेवस्य वासन्ते जगत्त्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेव नमस्ते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्धात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि नारायणाय समर्पयामि भक्तिला। ॐ हरि ओम ॐ हां ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे 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 हरि ओम।